Hey, brother.
What's this cold, dark place? So unfamiliar. 0-2? I feel like I've made the right moves, drafted the correct players, yet I keep getting taught. Is this what B. Johns and Jesse feel season after season? Am I going mad? My precious. Must protect the precious?
Hey guys, welcome to Wilson Time episode number 2. We're coming at you live right now with myself, T-Pain.
Dill. G-Thug.
Special guest, G-Thug this week.
Yeah,
So this is our first special guest, so give him a round of applause. Alright, that's it. Okay, now let's go. Alright, so let's get straight into this. Last time we talked about how this is going to go down. We already know what's going down. We're going to be talking business. Alright, so first off, we're going to go with surprises, disappointments, and takeaways. G-Thug, since you're our special guest, how about you lead us off?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
I think the biggest surprise is the Bucs offense, of course. Fitzpatrick has been lighting it up. Dill's got him on his team, riding him this week, so Fitzmagic. You got D-Jax lighting it up as well. Calvin's getting lucky as hell. We all know D-Jax can't sustain that, but, I mean, it is what it is. Next week, the week after, he'll have a big goose egg and Calvin will be in the shitter. We all know that. I want to mention Chris Godwin as well. I had him targeted on my board this year. Another one of Dill's members. Still 0-2. Doesn't matter. Still 0-2, even though he's got all the Bucks. But I'm happy to see Chris Godwin balling out as well. So the Bucks are my surprise so far.
Yeah. So for me, it's Patrick Mahomes. We all think that. I think for the most part, when we were coming to the season, we all knew that he was going to be good, but we didn't know he was going to be this good. Throwing 10 TDs in the first 2 games is unreal.
I know we gave Shimer shit after the draft because we were like, why the fuck did you take Mahomes and Garoppolo? But dropped Garoppolo, kept Mahomes, and it obviously worked out.
Yeah, Jimmy G, welcome to the squad. But
God.
Yeah, good on you, Shimer. Fucking look like a genius right now.
Nice. All right, though. Well, all right. So my surprise is it's going to be kind of like a running back core. Like honestly, this year Philip Lindsay, Austin Eckler, and Dion Lewis have all surprised me. Yeah. We all knew Dion Lewis was going to be really involved, but the fact that Philip Lindsay overtook the job from Royce Freeman is crazy to me because the whole talk was Booker, Freeman. Which one? Right. Now it's Lindsay. Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon. You never know if he's going to go down and get injured. But at the same time, it's pretty crazy to me that he is outscoring Melvin Gordon a couple times a game, especially with receiving yards and receptions. Dion Lewis, we knew he was going to teach. He taught at the Patriots. We just thought Derrick Henry would be way more involved. Yeah, so that's a very big surprise to me.
Yeah, it's crazy, Derrick Henry.
All right, well, I'll start off with the disappointments. So the disappointment this year for me is going to be, sorry, Shimer, but David Johnson. He is trash. And then not necessarily the fact that he's trash, it's the fact that the whole Cardinals offense is trash, and it kind of sucks out of Larry Fitzgerald, and that really puts a damper on my day. But we can only hope and pray that Josh Rosen makes it better, but David Johnson, top 3 pick, is shitting the bed.
Yeah, it's got to hurt.
Yeah, I feel that. For me, and for all of us, I think it's a little bit closer to home, but Royce Freeman, fuck you, Cal, for taking them in the second round there. But, yeah, it just sucks seeing him kind of go down, the path that he's going down right now. Philip Lindsay taking over. Nobody really saw that. We all thought he was going to teach pretty hard this year. But, obviously something's going on over there. Broncos just aren't really utilizing like we thought he would. But we'll see. There's still plenty of football left. But as of right now, yeah.
And I want everybody to remember, just because I was thinking about this the other day, Calvin, I didn't forget our bet. Saquon Barkley is going to score way more points this year than Royce Freeman. And that obviously is showing so far, Sonny. You're going down $100 my way.
Not looking great. Not that Saquon's looked great in the
rushing game. Not good,
but I'm disappointed about Royce too. I think it's that hot hand situation. Lindsey's just ran away with it. It's tough when that boy's balling out,
Yeah, you can't stop it. It goes on hand. That's how it always goes.
Speaking of our boys close to home, my disappointment has to be Marcus this year. I know he's banged up again, but that's part of it. You got to be healthy. You got to play. Mm-hmm. And this seems like a recurring thing with Marcus. Obviously, I think he has the talent to be good, but he's just got to be out there. And the whole Titans offense in general, I was big on Corey Davis, even like Derrick Henry a little bit. You already touched on that. Derrick Henry has one of the lowest yards per carry, like 2.6 in the league right now. It's ridiculous. 16 touches and you still can't get in the end zone or get a little more
Especially how
efficiency
big he
going.
is, too. You think
Right.
he'd be able to break a tackle. It's been really inefficient this year.
And the
Yeah.
offensive line is supposed to be one of the best in the
Yeah.
league too, and he's not even utilizing that.
Hopefully, when Marcus gets back, they can pick it up. There's promise with the new offense, and Vrabel's there now and everything. But there's not a good former coordinator out there that's been a
No,
good coach.
exactly.
They showed
True.
that Patricia shit in the bed. So
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Patricia, man. That looks like shit.
I got a question for you because I heard this the other day. Do you think it's more that Marcus is injury prone, or do you think it's just unlucky injuries?
I mean, at some point you got to read the writing on the wall. He's been injured a bunch. He was injured here at Oregon a few times, just dinged up. I think that. He does run a little bit more, and they try and protect him. But at the end of the day, he just gets banged up in weird spots, and that's part of football is being able to stay healthy, whether we like it or not. That's part of being a football player.
Yeah.
Actually, our first Wilson Time episode, I was actually the one that was high on Marcus. I said that I thought with the weapons he had, he would finish top 10, and it was just because Corey Davis and Tywan Jones are coming out.
A
But
lot of problems.
Delaney Walker's
Right.
gone.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry can't run the ball. Dean Lewis is still helping out, but it's like if you're not on the field, you're obviously not going to win any points. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
all right, Thug, will hit us away with the takeoffs.
My biggest takeaway is that tight end depth. It's just shitty. Obviously, I'm scraping the gutter for tight ends. Jesse James this week, Ricky Seals-Jones the week before. Maybe I'll start Ben Watson one week. I don't know. But, we saw Dill with $12 bet for O.J. Howard. Getting a lot of snaps, but still so many mouths to feed. That's a hefty bet, but it's something he feels like he needs to do in this tight end landscape. So tight end depth is a big one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, so far, just seeing the high-powered offenses, very little defense played. It was crazy to me that there were 72 TDs scored last Sunday. My team only gets one, of course.
Yes.
Not really sure how that happened, but yeah, I just think overall that, the NFL right now, I know that, it's been pass heavy, but I thought that, especially with last year, you saw the Saints step up on defense. Now they're shitting the bed. The Lions played a little bit better last year, and they had Matt Patricia coming in, so you thought that their fucking defense would actually teach, but instead they're just getting roasted right now.
Yeah.
And then the other thing for me, too, is the amount of receptions running backs are getting. Christian McCaffrey right now is on pace to break the record for most receptions for a running back in a single season. And you got Chris Thompson up there. Austin Eckler's getting in on the action like you were kind of pointing out there, T-Pain. So, yeah, it's crazy to me because I think that now the running back position's evolving. Instead of just being, the 3-down back where you just get the rock every time. Rushing-wise, it's, more receptions, become like a hybrid kind of back.
What I think it tells me is that true workhorse who runs and catches is few and far between. There's only a few of them,
Yeah.
It kind of plays the role with, you can't, we in our league, we always go so running back heavy at the beginning of the draft. It makes so much sense now because now we're getting to the point where we're like, shit, there's not that many running backs out there that can actually do that. You got Gurley, you got Gordon, you got a couple of those guys that can do all that good stuff, but there's not, besides that, there's not too much out there.
And even Gordon's got Eckler.
Yeah, exactly.
There's hardly any.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gurley is one of the only ones I can think of that it really has the whole.
If Le'Veon was there, sorry, Maverick.
Yeah,
please,
Le'Veon, of course. But even David Johnson hasn't been getting it. You touched on that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, so my takeaway from the season so far is fucking draft and keep your handcuffs. Now, before the season, I read an article saying that handcuffs weren't even worth that anymore. But the thing about it is, we've already seen high perennial running backs go down. We have Dalvin Cook out with a hamstring. Leonard Fournette with a hamstring injury. This is all Dylan. I keep on telling him, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And this is what happens. Le'Veon Bell's out. Now you got James Conner, who's a top 5 running back. The fact that so all these people in our league do not have their handcuffs and they're all sitting on fucking Nuts bench is ridiculous.
Scary, too.
Well, Nuts scooped him up so fucking
I'm
early in
saying
the draft
that handcuffs. You need your handcuffs.
I understand that. And for one, I didn't start off with Fournette, too. So I had no intention of getting yelled in, essentially. I really have no answers right
Still
now.
get him, Sonny.
Fucking injury bug, bud. Yeah.
I mean, Dill took the risk. He thought he could handle 1-1. He was hoping 0-2, and now he's staring down 0-3, and that trade's not looking so great.
Dude, never watch fantasy football at the compound. They put the curse on you, I
Oh,
swear.
jeez.
No good. No bueno.
For when you're feeling Swellington. Sidecar Wellington.
Right. Awesome. Well, that was some good takeaways. All right. Well, let's go on to our next segment. So this is a familiar segment: who teaches and who gets taught. So this is going to be more about matchups and predictions this week, and it's going to be for our league instead of in the first episode we talked about players. So who wants to start us off?
Yeah, I can start us off. First one we're looking at is G Thug and Old Trone. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what we think, but I don't know. The whole Shady McCoy injury, and then he's got the looming domestic violence case going against him right now. Just got a little update the other day that might be a little more severe than what we thought. So who really knows what's happening with Shady? But right now it's not looking good. Melvin Gordon was a little bit banged up too, but I mean, if he does play, he could teach. You know, Gare's got Todd Gurley, so yeah.
It's always nice to have Todd Gurley.
Yeah, old fucking horse legs 2.0 over there.
It's good.
That's going to teach hard. I think really it's going to come down to Big Ben's play. If he can teach the Buccaneers on Monday night, I think Gare has no problem then. And he's definitely got this Cowboys D over there too. You know I'm riding high on them. It's actually pissed that he snagged him up for me. But yeah, for me, I think I'm going to have to take Gare on this one.
Nice.
Just he's got a little more firepower right now. Yeah, G-Thug fucking stroking you over here, but
Yeah.
take it as it is.
I do enough of that already.
What about you guys though? So what do you guys think of that matchup?
Go ahead, T-Pain.
All right, so I'll go with Trike and Nut here. So I think that's going to be a pretty decent one, especially with Trike getting back that Carson Wentz. That was one weakness that Trike's had over the first 2 weeks was he started Nick Foles 1 week. I can't remember if he started both weeks. But either way, Carson Wentz is going to be an upgrade from whatever he had. The only issue with, his team is going to be consistency. There's not a lot of touchdowns going around. Devin Funches, Allen Robinson, Chris Carson, you're not getting a lot of points with those touchdowns there. And we all know Nuts team scores a lot of points every week. He has that James Conner, he has Ezekiel Elliott, Stephon Diggs. Like, his team's going to put up probably close to 100 points or more than 100 points. So I think Nutt's going to take this one, and the only reason why is I don't think Trike's going to be able to sustain the amount of points he needs to score, and it's because he's not going to be getting those touchdowns from those players. So I'm going to have to go with Nutt on that one. As much as I hate to say it, you're probably going to go 3-0, and that fucking sucks. But I'll meet you there.
Real quick, before we get too far, we're going to leave G-Thug out of this one because it's his own matchup, but who do you got out of the G-Thug? Who was it? G-Thug in?
I'm playing old Trone.
Trone, that's right.
Moist Makers.
Yeah,
Moist
I'm going with fucking Thug's team. Trone, your team is... I just don't even know. It's so inconsistent all the time. And, I have to go with Thug's team just because from what I saw the first week and what I saw last week, I beat Thug the first week, but I did have to score a decent amount of points to do so, a 100-point game or more. I think you're going to have to score a decent amount of points, just kind of like the whole thing with Trike and Nut. It's just, when you run into teams like Thug or Nut, you're going to have to put up a lot of points, and if you don't, you're going to lose. And so he's going to have to hope for a good week, and I just don't think Trone gets enough of those. So definitely go with Thug on that one, too.
So, Gare, your take on the Trike and...
Yeah, I got a few stats from the Nut Report. I think this matchup hinges on the running back position. Zach is second in the league at running back with 39 points a game from his running back core. Mike is 12th at 13.5 points from his running back core. That's a 25.5 difference. I think that's the difference in the world. It's basically Elliott and Connor, two top 5 running backs versus McCaffrey, who's good, and then Chris Carson, who sucks.
Yeah.
So I got to give it to Zach, who is also 5-1 all-time versus Mike. So I give it to Zach as well.
For sure.
Good stuff there. I will also take the Nut in this matchup.
All right, Thug. So, who do you want to decipher here?
Let's start with continue, not start with COD and Scheimer. Scheimer's already got a big lead here. 21 started off well, 21 points from Hyde. Carlos Hyde.
Snaking my TDs.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good game on nearly 100 yards, 2 TDs, so a little inefficient for my taste. But regardless, I'm actually going to give this to COD because I think Antonio Brown is going to bounce back in a huge way this weekend. He's pissed off. He's ready to go. The Buccaneers suck D on defense, they're real bad on defense. Anyone can score on them. I think it'll be a high-flying affair because the Steelers aren't good either. But I give it to COD on the back end, Antonio Brown this week.
It's a good call. It's a good superstar to lean on, especially when you need some points. For myself, I'm probably going to go with COD as well. I just think Matt Ryan, he's been so inefficient and so mediocre through the first 2 weeks. I think he connects with Julio Jones on maybe one, but not maybe two TDs because the New Orleans Saints defense does not look good. So I think that COD will take this one. Scheimer's going down.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say COD across the board here. And the main reason why is because even though COD lost Jay this week, Chris Thompson's a pretty damn good fill-in for that. Antonio Brown, I'm with you on that. I think he's going to be torching that Bucks D. And I think they actually just had a couple key injuries, too. So I think it's going to be a high-flying affair. Plus, you got Gronk on COD side, too. You never know with Gronk there.
Yeah, the Lions.
So David Johnson, he's just, man, I just can't trust him as far as I could probably throw him. So that just really hurts. And, I mean, you got Pat Mahomes, and I think that he could teach, but at the same time, you're going to have a little bit of regression there at some point.
Absolutely.
So,
he'd be the best quarterback ever to play if he kept it up. But he probably isn't.
Exactly. And so I just, I think COD's matchups and the talent that he's got right now, I think he just has the edge over.
Well, yeah, we're not talking about it. Eckler's playing against the Rams. The Rams are going to put up a lot of points, so they're probably going to be coming from behind. So you already know Eckler's going to be going in instead of Gordon, probably.
Yeah, so I think up next we got the Gobstopper and the Gordon Goons. We'll see then. I guess I'll start this one off. So easily I'm taking Tom Brady over Deshaun Watson. Deshaun has looked like crap lately, and he's definitely not showing what he did last year. Maybe he picks that up, but DeAndre Hopkins is kind of dealing with the hamstring issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a big factor. Royce Freeman's almost been like a ghost. If it wasn't for that TD last week, I mean, he would probably have had like 1 point, I think.
Right. And touchdowns are fluke. You can't bank on those.
It's true. And Cal, you've been getting so fucking lucky with your wide receivers. I don't think Deshaun Jackson's getting another 75-yard bomb for a TD. Though if he does, hell yeah, let's go Fitzmagic. But yeah, I think that Gobby pulls out his first win this week. The AP thing might help him out a little bit, but Kareem Hunt can teach. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, we'll see though. Robbie Anderson's definitely not helping you out there, bud. But again, Cal's boom or bust wide receivers. I mean, you never know. They could lay a goose egg as well. So I'm going to give it to Gobbs this week.
I don't got a lot of stats on this. I pretty much just don't like Calvin, so go Gobby.
Yes, that is the greatest answer. I think Calvin will win this one. And the only reason why I think that is because New York Giants' defense is not very good. Deshaun Watson, I think, will have a good game. I think that's going to actually be a decent scoring game. The reason why is just because I think Saquon goes off against the Texans defense. So I think that's going to be a good one. But I think there is a lot of depth with Calvin's roster. It sucks. He gets a lot of TDs from all of his players. Marshawn will probably score another one. So consistent throughout the board.
See against that Minnesota D.
It doesn't matter. If they get down to the goal line, they're feeding Marshawn. They're not giving anybody else. So.
Yeah. We'll see, though. He only plays in the first half, it seems.
Well, yeah, but yeah. That is really weird. I wonder why they do that. This doesn't make any sense to me. John Gruden's weird as really confuses me.
Apparently still looking for a pass rusher, too. I'm not really sure where you find those, but...
Yeah, it's not good. Especially when you can't trade away a Hall of Famer. Just be like, it's not a big deal,
Quinn Cool Mack is a Hall of Famer already, huh?
Well, damn right I am, buddy. You already got, what, is he 1 or 2 Defensive Player of the Year? And also, he's, on pace to have over 100 sacks. If you have over 100 sacks,
if he keeps... I like Cool Mack, don't get me wrong. I think he's like a Ray Lewis type of player, for sure.
Let's think about it is, remember when we were talking about the other day, you pick one player to build your team around? You could pick Khalil Mack to build your team around. Kind of like Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt or something like that. Well, defensively, offensively, then you're going quarterback. But, all right, besides that. Okay, so let's go next to the next matchup with Maverick versus the Electrician, Jaden Morris. So this one right here, this one's actually a little bit closer than all the other matches that I think we've been talking about. The reason why is because they both have very solid teams. The only thing I have to say about Mavs is I'm just really iffy, especially with the Philip Lindsay situation. I like him a lot, but I just don't know if he's going to get the touchdowns and maybe the touches that he got last week. And then Jamal Williams has looked so inefficient with that Packers offense. They've been so pass heavy. I don't trust him whatsoever getting any points. It's all going to be come down to Jaden Morris and his freaking wide receivers because he took no running backs. And Dion Lewis has been decent, scoring 10 points a game. Giovanni Bernard, who knows? He's never got the starting role, and there's a reason for that. They've always brought in somebody different or drafted somebody, and he never got to take the lead back. So this one, I think it will go to Maverick. I think that that Phillip Rivers game is going to be high scoring with the Chargers and the Rams, and so I think that if there are any comparisons, I would have to say it's probably going to come down to Kirk Cousins and Phillip Rivers, which they're both kind of good games. I don't fucking know. This one's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up.
I don't even fucking know. I think Maverick wins this one, and the only reason I do is because fucking probably Tyreek Hill goes off against San Francisco, and he fucking scores probably like 2 TDs and gets like a return
Probably
touchdown.
will burn him.
Yeah, easily. So,
I mean, their projections are within 2 points of each other, 84 to 82. So
and
really
that's
it's a
what I'm saying.
toss-up.
And who knows? Mason Crosby had a shit ton of points last week for kicks, so. I don't know that one. I think Maverick wins it, and I think it's just because I don't know. He has. I like Tyreek Hill and I like the Golden Tate and Mike Evans. So I don't know.
Yeah, those are good receivers. This definitely is the battle of the receiving course, though.
Like,
Mav's got
literally.
a legit one too. They both rank in the top 5. Mav at 53.5 points, Jaden at 37.6 points.
Wow.
So that's pretty far spread. But if you look at them, that's a pretty even matchup receiver-wise. So I think it will come down to the running backs. And this week alone, I actually think Jaden's got it. Giovanni's going to start, ostensibly. Deion Lewis, again, that's versus Jacksonville, so there's probably not going to be much up the middle for Henry, who's been sucking it down fresh anyway. So Lewis, I think, will have a decent game. So I'm going to give that one to Jaden.
Little fresh sucker.
Yeah, man, it's a close matchup for sure. It's definitely battle of the wide receivers. Pretty much who just outperforms who. I really like that Michael Thomas, but also really like Tyreek Hill. I'm going to give it to Jaden, though. I think he's got the edge with the running backs this week. Like you said, Derrick Henry, I don't think he's going to get anything going against Jacksonville, so I think it's going to be a lot of passing. Deion Lewis' specialty. And then, you got Giovanni Bernard coming up, next man up, and he's been able to perform before. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to that. I'm going to attrition.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair overall, and the only reason why is because they have a lot of fucking tough matchups.
I think a lot of it hinges, too.
Like, I'm looking at their matchups, and I'm just like, the running backs, like, it could come down to the running backs, because all 4 of their running backs are literally facing, like, hella good run defenses.
It's true.
And so it's like, who the fuck is going to, like, actually score a TD? Who's going to break a big run?
Well, I think also a big factor in it, too, is that DeAndre Hopkins' health. Like, if he's got the hammy issue, I don't really know how severe it is, but if it's anything bad,
If it's anything like Dalvin Cook or Leonard Fournette, he won't play.
Yeah, let me tell you. Fucking about to go back to school, become a doctor for just strictly hammies.
Yeah.
Good one,
Need
Sonny.
it. Yeah.
That was a good one. He's going to become a hammy doctor.
Yes, the hammy doctor.
Specialist.
He's stroking those groins, huh?
I'll fucking stroke him as long as they're teaching on my squad.
Yeah. God, or you'll be getting taught.
Well, I already am.
Alright, who wants the lead?
I'll take the lead on this one since it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
good
let's-
matchup. Dill's got to win this one, right? 0-3, that's a real hard hole. It's not impossible, but improbable, right? You're not feeling great at 0-3. So I think, therefore, the whole league, for the first time ever, is probably cheering for Team definitely don't want Dill to win again this year. I'd much rather him get the Sacco, of course. So I'm just going again, just because of who I want to win. I'm giving it to T-Pain. He does have the higher projection, or he did when Dill wasn't playing mind games with the rest of us. So I'm going to give this one to T-Pain.
Yeah, who's going to start running back?
Yeah, you guys look out for that Wilkins this week. He's getting his TD.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we'll just kind of go past this one because we don't need to put our input on this. It's
That's
gonna be
fine. There'll be plenty of shit talking.
pretty
on
biased
it, so.
opinions here. So next one, Dylan, do you want to break down the old, it looks like the last one of the day, the battle between the Saccos.
Sacco Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, good old Sacco Bowl.
And those projections are just where we thought they would be.
Man. Well, yeah, man, that's a tough one. I think
Not much to say there.
Woo!
Trying to find a positive.
Yeah.
I actually like that Jesse starting that John Brown this week. He's been getting a fucking ton of yards. Like, I don't know what the stat is. I think it's like air yards per catch or something
Yards
like that.
per catch.
I think he's going to be pretty good. He might get a TD out of that. I think Crabtree's going to get swallowed up in that Denver defense, primarily why I'm not starting him. Corey Clement, if he gets a start there, especially with Carson Wentz coming back, that could actually be a huge boost. I just don't know about Russell Wilson against that Dallas D. I think he's going to be fucking just getting swallowed up. You saw what they did to Eli Manning.
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, Rodgers playing against Washington. Rodgers just never down, never out. I'm sorry, Jesse, but your team is just so riddled with injuries. I'm going to have to go with the old steady boo in there.
Boolin.
Man, Jordan Howard could teach, especially against a shitty Arizona D.
This is the only
Smith-Schuster.
week I would say Cohen. Yeah, it makes sense for you to start 2 running backs on the same team in 1 week. It's like the only week I'll fucking say that, and the reason why is because Arizona's been getting
bad.
shredded.
Yeah.
But you're an idiot for starting Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen every week, you dumbass.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so fuck you, Chief. But yeah, this is a real shit game. I played against Jesse last week, and like he couldn't even surpass 60 points. So it's like, well, I think he got like 62 maybe. I can't remember. It was on a last-second TD by Russell Wilson. It's not good. So I
It's
still,
stinking shit.
so I think old Steady Boolin takes this one, but by a slim margin, and I think you guys score both less than 70 points. It's not going to be good at all, especially with Alfred Morris. You have him starting. Breida's getting all the work there.
Yes.
Actually,
God.
no. I just heard a thing today that Morris has had more snaps than
Well, cool.
Breida's just being more efficient.
So then
Yeah.
Alfred Morris is
Yes.
probably going to lose some snaps this week because he's been so inefficient with the snaps he's been
Could
given.
be, could be.
Like, it's not looking good for you, Chief, at all for your running back core. And so I give it to Steady Boolin.
Stats bear out what you guys are saying. This is the worst matchup of the week. Jesse is no better than 11th in any category except defense. So that's not great. Brandon is no better than 7th in any category, and that category he's 7th in is quarterback. So it's not like he's burning up the world either. But based on those stats alone, 11th. And no better than 11th in any position just shows how riddled Jesse's team is with injuries. Too tough to overcome.
Yeah.
So I give it to Steady.
It's a
Boolin
rough
as well.
one.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jesse I don't know how you do it, but until that Mark Ingram comes back, maybe if Goodwin actually plays this week, I don't know though, man.
Tough.
It is tough. Yeah, good shit on the matchups, though. We'll see how it plays out this week, boys.
All right, so our last segment here is going to be talking shit or talking sense. And this is going to be talking about which teams we think are going to succeed this year and that are real, and whose teams are at their demise and are pretenders. So, Dylan, how about you lead us off with what team you think is real and what team you think is a pretender?
All right, so who's talking sense? The squad that I think I like the most is Nuts. One of the best pickups of the year is James Conner there. It's definitely teaching for him. The old Le'Veon Bell thing. I don't think anybody really saw that he was going to be out this long. We're still not really sure. But yeah, James Conner's teaching for him. And then the starters he's got in the squad too. A.J. Green, Stephon Diggs, my boy Zeke Elliott, who's not even reaching his full potential in my opinion. So Nut Squad, I mean, just with his stars there, it's definitely killing it. And he's getting some lucky breaks with his handcuffs. Another squad that I like a lot is Gares. Stroking once again.
Yes, feels good. Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're going to get that.
Whoa.
But yeah, he got so much depth. The whole Jerick McKinnon thing going down there. We were kind of talking about it earlier. A little bit of luck, but I do think that was also a very smart, calculated move. We're talking about those high-value handcuffs there. That's the reason why you get them. Between the two squads, I mean, you guys are doing it pretty good right now. What do you got for your real teams, I guess you could call them?
So this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think Kyle's team is a contender. And I really think the Josh Gordon trade helped him out because...
Of course you do, bud.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Do I really have to explain? No, honestly, Tom Brady hasn't had a deep threat or a person with this stature since Randy Moss. And I'm not gonna say Josh Gordon is Randy Moss, but I'm saying with the potential to be somewhat of a Randy Moss. So I think that's a great addition. And we've all seen teams be carried by one running back before. Yeah, you have really bad depth at running back, but Alvin Kamara can make up for having just one running back. He can consistently score 20 points a week. So, I think that's actually a really good squad. And Deshaun Watson figures it out, then I think Calvin's team is definitely a contender. A pretender, I'm going to definitely say that Mavericks team is a pretender. I think that his team has been performing very well as recently, but at the same time, I think he's been catching a lot of breaks. I don't think Phillip Rivers is going to consistently keep on putting up 20-point games. I also don't think his running back core is too deep as well. And I just think that Golden Tate has definitely done really well, but I think that Galladay will pick up the pace, and I think Marvin Jones has not even become relevant at all. And we saw him last year score a decent amount of touchdowns, get a lot of yards, and Matthew Stafford hasn't really looked his way this year. So I just think that he's definitely been getting the luck of the draw with those guys. So Mav, you are a pretender for me, unfortunately. All right, Thug.
I'm not going to do any contenders on principle because I feel like I'm the only contender. So I'm just going to do pretenders, and I'm gonna completely contradict T-Pain and say Cal's team is a pretender, 1-1, but he scored high points 2 weeks in a row. So I think we can, there's a little bit of wiggle room. Is he a pretender? Is he a contender? For me, he's a pretender. His players are boom bust. Djax, Will Fuller, even Watson.
I agree.
Boom bust players. So there's going to be weeks, he scores a ton of points, but weeks he doesn't score a ton of points. I'm worried about his depth. Calvin gets on his cousin for not making a lot of moves, but Calvin, if you look, doesn't make a ton of moves either. He doesn't really work the wire as much as I would in a team in his position. So Calvin is definitely one of my pretenders. I'll give you another one, and that's COD. I know I picked him to go start 3-0 this week, but his team, Jay Ajayi, injury risk. We talked about Antonio Brown, but right now it looks like Juju might be one in there. This could be the year Brown comes back to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Gronk, a good player, injury risk as well. I'm just not completely sold on COD's team either right now.
I'm with that.
That's a good analysis. All right, boys. Well, that does it for the second episode of Wilson Time. We want to thank Thug for coming over, being our special guest, first of the year. Appreciate it. We will be coming back with an episode a lot sooner than this one. Just a lot of life has been catching up on us. It's the way it goes. We all know how it works. So we'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Ciao.